But night, you're now rocking with your boy KOR XKL, the last son of Planet Xbox, and you're listening to Super Podshots. I do apologize, first of all, for being late as hell. I don't want to say CP time, man, but I got caught up. I had to take care of my son and things like that. The wife is pregnant. Some of you guys know this already. So because of that, it really put me behind, and I lost track of time before I knew it was 10 o'clock. And I kind of was disappointed in myself that I wasn't able to make my schedule, but I'm here, and I'm here to deliver you guys what's popping in the industry, at least for the Xbox One side. So, before I get started, man, I just want to talk about a good friend of the show, somebody that has been rocking with us since day one, somebody who has been a part of the inner circle and everything that we have been doing for such a long time, my homie Anchorman V. Big shout out to Anchorman V, man. Recently, he came out and decided that he no longer wanted to, produce on his channel. And, there's a lot of reasons why one would feel that way. And trust me, it's not a very easy thing. A lot of people think that it's easy to just talk all the time. And, a lot of times you get people who don't agree with you and things like that. And you got to have a thick skin, obviously, in order to handle some of the things that people throw at you or some of the things that come your way. And, he's done that for a very long time. And I guess over time, you kind of just get tired. You kind of get worn out. So it's really cool, man, that, he was able to produce for such a long time. I know he's had his battles here and there, and he's had some really good content, some really good quality work, and he's worked with a lot of people, and he's still a very good friend of mine, a very, I guess you could say, close personal friend of mine. And of course, he is still a part of the inner circle. So, big shout out to him, and I know he will land on his feet. So we will see what happens with that and with him in the future. But, on to today's news. So recently, there's been a lot of chatter about the beta for Gears of War 4. And unfortunately, when I saw it myself, I was a bit disappointed. But then I realized that, yes, it was a beta and that it was a true beta, not like the beta we get when you play the Division and the game is ready to go. It's not like when we played Halo 6 months early, and Halo 6 months early looked like Halo when it launched, and it played really well, even though they tweaked it here and there. No, this game seems to be an alpha build, and a true beta in what they are trying to do. And considering this game is 6 months out, man, I can't wait to see the polished product. But listen, when you get a game like this out there into the public, people automatically just crush it. The fans have been doing anything possible to ruin anything Microsoft has been trying to put out so far this generation. And like I said before, I'm not trying to say that fanboyism doesn't exist on each side. It's just that it's more prevalent because you just have a larger install base. Anybody who denies that is just denying the truth. You're going to see more of it because there's just more people. That's just the reality of it all. And it's a crazy situation because it's just a beta. It's not the final product. It's not what we're getting at launch and things like that. And some people feel like, well, when you get a beta, that's pretty much the game. But I don't think that Gears is that type of game. Gears has always set a standard graphically on the Xbox platforms, So I think that this one will also set a standard graphically when it comes to both the campaign and the multiplayer. I think people tend to forget that the campaign they showed off at E3, even if it doesn't look that good, just to say, for example, it doesn't look that good, it's still going to look way better than what we're expecting. And then on top of that, people also have to remember that this is the multiplayer. It's not very often that the multiplayer looks better than the single player. That just doesn't happen. Or even the campaign, for that matter, though it's co-op. Usually because it's more isolated, you're not dealing with a lot of people and stuff like that, it becomes a little bit more complicated and a little bit more complex on the multiplayer side of things. So, I don't expect a lot of noise coming out at launch. I expect the game to be looking as good as it's supposed to be. The Coalition, also known as Black Tusk Studios, at one point, they are very well versed in Unreal Engine 4. And I haven't seen a bad Unreal Engine 4 game yet. So, all the hoopla and speculation about what Gears will look like when it finally drops, when it finally comes out. I think people need to put things into perspective. Um, Unreal is a very well optimized engine. It works extremely well with the Xbox One, and it works extremely well with DX12. It's just one of those engines out there that it's rare that the Xbox One looks bad or a game looks terrible in it. Usually games are on point and look very well and run pretty well on the Xbox One in Unreal Engine. Now, if you had told me it was Frostbite, I could have believed you. I could have been like, yeah, I can see that. If it was Frostbite, yeah, I can see that. But it's not, it's Unreal. So, I have the utmost expectations for the game. It's unfortunate that these developers get attacked on Twitter. It's become, this generation has become so feral with people foaming at the mouth because they aren't pleased. Their toys aren't pleasing them the way they want them to, or, they're using it as ammunition and their feelings are hurt. I keep telling people, listen, when you love something, I get it. You have a passion for it. But if you feel like you're on the edge and you're becoming too emotionally involved, you go on a rant, but you don't go on a rant to the people that are making the game. You don't go on a rant in public, You go on a rant in your own personal space, or you go on a rant to your fans or the people who are who are your peers. You don't go and talk to the developer and tell them how garbage they are or whatever and things like that. Not only do you embarrass yourself, it's disrespectful to the developer. Even if the game is bad, people don't understand how hard it is to be a developer. And I'm not trying to be an apologist for anybody. I'm just being realistic. The reality of it is that it's not easy being a developer. People don't know what like seriously, they have no idea what they be talking about. About a dev being lazy or something like that. Developers have deadlines. They have budgets. There's things that they have to hit. There's requirements that they have to make. There's sacrifices that they have to give in order to hit those deadlines. There's so many things that go into developing the game besides just developing the game, let alone the hardware limitations. There's just a ton of things. And, as fans and as gamers, we're always quick to criticize. You never notice that? How quick we are to criticize developers and how quick we are to criticize the people that make the games that we love and we care about when we don't agree with it. When people didn't agree with the direction that Microsoft was doing, what did they do? They didn't buy the console. And to this day, some of them still haven't bought the console. And that's what you do. You use your wallets. When you don't agree with something and you want something to change, you use your wallet. And I'm not trying to stop anybody's freedom of speech, but you make yourself look foolish. You look embarrassing. You look like a fanatic. And I get that's what the word fan stands for, but still, even then, it's embarrassing to see people go out there and attack Rod because of a beta. And about how, a game that hasn't even released yet, he's ruining the game. The game is destroyed. His Gears is completely destroyed. Really? Like, have we not played the game? Has the game not been trying to evolve? They're upset because, you can do a stun attack when you hop over cover and stun people. Or you can grab somebody from behind cover now and do an execution on them, like a stab to the face with a knife. That's what people are upset about? Really? Sounds like somebody been getting their ass kicked in the beta. That's what it sounds like. And when you get your ass kicked in the beta, you get better and you get salty. And the reality of it is that when you're feeling that way, and you just have to be able to wake up to reality. And the reality of it is just a game, bro. Turn it off. Walk away. Take a breath. Go outside. Play some basketball, man. Go talk to some ladies. Something that I won't say that. But you got to do something constructive to where you're not blowing your gasket over these games. I mean, there's nothing wrong with venting. There's nothing wrong with talking on Twitter and having conversations and having discussions with people and things like that. But it's another thing when you go out and you start attacking the people who are only just trying to make a living, all the people who are just, this is their job. This is what they do. These guys still have a passion for it. They try their best. And sometimes they hit the mark and sometimes they don't, So, big shout out to the guys over at the Coalition, man. I look forward to playing the beta on the 18th. And I really hope I get a chance to enjoy it and things like that. I've always been a Gears fan. I love Gears of War. I love what what little they have of a story. And I'm looking forward to this one. This one looks a lot deeper, a lot darker, back to its roots. And it seems like it's going to have a really good prevalent story this time around. And I'm glad that Microsoft is really trying to take the approach to have these story-driven games. You know why I think a lot of Xbox fans like Quantum Break, and the people who didn't like Quantum Break were actually the people who don't like Xbox? It's just because of the simple fact that we don't get a lot of story-driven games, and the story from Quantum Break was actually really good. It was actually really good, and it was told well. And we really liked some of the cutscenes and things like that. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say it was a perfect 10 and things like that. I think that a lot of people feel like the game was good, maybe an 8, maybe a 7, maybe a 9, but overall, not to the point to where it deserves, an amazing, incredibly, dumbfounded score of like a 2 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. I don't think most Xbox fans think it was that bad. And I don't think it's Xbox fans like as in fanboys, just genuine fans of gaming. I don't think they felt it was that bad of a game. Because, and honestly, my honest opinion, it wasn't. So, being able to have a game like that is great. More story-driven games is something that we need, because all we have nowadays is just nothing but run and gun, shoot, shoot, shoot. We'll give you a basic, premise of something, and if you make it towards the end of the game, congratulations. Play the game again or hop on multiplayer and move on. So I'm glad that they're taking the approach. You look at some of the games they came out with so far this generation that have had, nice story-driven games. You had Rise. Rise had a really decent story. It actually was a really good game with a really actually cool plot twist towards the end. Something that kind of caught some of us Xbox fans off guard and would love to see a sequel. It's the reason why we asked for a sequel to Rise, because there's a plot twist. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a plot twist in Rise. And I think because that plot twist is in it, we want to see what happens again and with another hero, and another sequence and how these things play out. I think that'll be really cool if we're able to get those things. You have Ori and the Blind Forest, which is another story-driven game, which was really, really good, that we really enjoyed and things like that. You had Halo 5. A lot of people, they didn't like it because they didn't get enough Chief. I like the story. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it 100. I like the story. I did. I like playing as somebody else for once. People always, talk about Chief, but Chief to me and Locke were the same type of character. Like they really were. They had limited dialogue. They both spoke in a stoic manner. The only thing is we know a lot about Chief. That's the only thing, which is funny to me because people act like Chief has this amazing personality. Oh my God, I can't play as Locke. He's just so, he's so boring. Really? Last time I checked, Chief wasn't sitting up there with pom-poms in his hands doing splits and backflips. These guys are, they the characters themselves, they're war-torn characters. There's not a lot to smile about when you're in a, mech suit type and you're constantly battling. And I don't mean like mech, like in giant mech. I know what the, armor is. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that when you're in, these Spartan suits, you're super powered. And considering that the Chief and Blue Team their suits are way more advanced, way better than, Team Osiris's suits. And they're definitely way more powerful. But at the same time, these people that have been doing these things for such a long time, they're war-torn people. So, you're not going to get a lot of personality pops from these characters and things like that. So I really liked what they try to do with the story. What I didn't like about it was like, I feel like in the last 2 games I've played, we've completely forgotten about the Flood. I don't know where the Flood is and why they haven't brought them back. I know the Flood is not dead. They never killed the Flood off. Matter of fact, at the end of Halo 2, Gravemind was still alive. Where is Gravemind right now? That, to me, that is something that they should have done. They should have done with the story instead of going the direction that they did. If you haven't played Halo 5, I don't want to spoil it for you. For those of you who have played Halo 5, you already know the direction that they've gone. So the direction that they have gone in, to me, kind of throws the whole entire story off in a way. I think they had the potential to take the story from 4, reintroduced the Flood in 5. And really, it should have been trying to figure out how to use this old technology that they've discovered with the Forerunners and the Prometheans to destroy the Flood once and for all. That's what they should have done, But they went a different direction, and it's a possibility they could still go that route. It's not to say that they can't, but as a story, without thinking about everything else, I liked the story. I thought the story was pretty good. You had Sunset Overdrive. Really wasn't a story-driven game, but it was a lot of fun and it was a good IP. Forza Horizon 3 actually had a story, which really made the game very interesting in itself. And to me, I keep saying Forza Horizon 3, Forza Horizon 2. Apologies. Forza Horizon 2 was a really good game. One of my favorites, actually, this generation. Definitely, probably one of my favorite racing games of all time. And be honest with you, I haven't even gotten that deep into the game. But from just playing the game, I'm just fascinated with it. I love it. Every time I pick it up, I just love playing it. And I try to play it for hours when I can, but I just have so many games. My backlog is ridiculous. And then, of course, we have Quantum Break this year. You got Gears of War that's going to have a big focus on story. Record, another single-player game, that's supposed to have a focus on story. Scalebound is supposed to have a focus around story as well. You have Joe Staten, who is the writer for some of the Halo novels that we know today. He's actually working on all those IPs story-wise, So, he helped with Quantum Break as well. So, I think Microsoft, story-wise, and their games, they have done a terrific job considering last generation, they were known as a shooter box, and everything that came on it was boom, 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 pow, pow, pow. And Sony was the console that was always known about their single-player campaigns, and Xbox was all about multiplayer. And it seems that Microsoft is really making this change where now they not only have really good multiplayer to go with their games, they're really trying to solidify their single-player experiences. And people are not recognizing what they're trying to do. They've really stepped their game up. So I just want to acknowledge what they're doing and that they have a lot of potential for a lot of awesome things coming up in the future. I can't wait to see what they show at E3, and that's where we're going to head next. So, as I said a few weeks ago, I'm tired of talking about these upgradable consoles. Like I really am. I've been talking about damn near every episode. So I won't stay too much on it. But man, if you haven't heard, recently some news came out that the FCC had 2 patents for Microsoft, and those 2 patents were 2 brand new SKUs for consoles. Now, listen, okay? One of these things, first of all, both of these SKUs are supposed to release, I believe, after E3. After E3. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how somebody told me something in my DMs on Twitter, and I brought it up. I said, hey, what if Microsoft shows up at E3 with something that's on the same level as PS4K? And everybody kind of blew me off a little bit. Pause. And they were like, it could be a new SKU. Microsoft was working on new tech. They always working on new things. And it was every other excuse in the book about why Microsoft is not coming out with something. And people referenced his article with Game Informer. And I said this before. I said, listen, if you're an Xbox fan, if you haven't learned by now to ignore what these people be talking about and think the opposite, where have you been? Because that's how it's been the whole generation. Like, even me as an Xbox fan cannot ignore and must recognize that there's been more reneging than a game of spades. Seriously. And it's just crazy. And I'm not trying to say that they're liars. Absolutely not. They're not lying, but they're just giving you, they're giving you one hand, but they have something else happening. And I said this before. I don't think Microsoft was trying to sit out there and show their hand at E3. They're just not. And I think they should do this more often. I don't know why they don't. And I'm pretty glad that they haven't been leaking anything, at E3. The last couple years, you had Phil come out and they showed some demos of one game and they showed another game, and all leading up to E3 because they got to get some stuff out to show, because they have other things to show at E3. Then you get to E3 and it's not as spectacular as you want it to be because they've done showed everything in freaking May, in April. So I'm really glad that they haven't done that this year at all. Phil hasn't come out and spoken about anything happening at E3. He hasn't come out and spoken about anything happening when it comes to new games or gave us snippets or previews, and that's a good thing. That is an absolute good thing, And I say that because Sony doesn't do it, Nintendo doesn't do it. So why is Microsoft doing it? Why are you giving up your show? I mean, it's cool if you have something bigger. I remember one year they showed and talked about everything almost before E3 started. Then we got there and we watched it, and it was only like, a few indie games and maybe like 2 new IP announcements and like, maybe a feature here or there. And it was a good show. Don't get me wrong. It was a good show because we hadn't seen gameplay of some things, but overall you just felt underwhelmed. You felt like it was good, but it wasn't great, And it's like, because you already seen it, like you've known it. The element of surprise is gone. The great thing about E3 and why we love E3 is because we're all anticipating what we're going to see next. That feeling you get when you're watching your TV and everything goes dark and the screen goes black, and the first thing you're thinking is like graphics. Like, that's the only thing going through your head. You're like, oh my God, please look amazing, please be amazing, please something that's gonna make my jaw drop. That's what you're saying to yourself. That excitement that you get when you're watching the show, and then you see something and you're stuck, you're glued, you're just watching the TV, you're just like, oh my God, and then it's like boom, 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 and then you're like hype and you're like into it. Like, why would you want to kill that feeling? Let's not kill that feeling. I think we need to continue that feeling. That's what made E3 great. I think E3 is the biggest video game trade show in the world. Okay. Going to E3 was a different experience because when you go there, there are just so many people. You don't know what to do. Literally, you could be the 20th person in line and be in line for the next 3 hours just to play one game. That's like a quarter of your day or like half your day already gone. Because it's like everybody gets at least 10 to 15 minutes to play the game. And that's per person. So literally, you're just waiting for this next 10 to 15 minutes or this group to get up and go. And who knows how long that's going to take. It happened to me. It happened to B Money. It happened to Skittles when we were playing the Division. We were waiting in line to play the Division before we got a chance to play. We had about, 6 people, maybe 7, maybe 8 people in front of us. Took us 2.5 hours to play the Division, only to be skipped by 2 guys from the HBO show Silicon Valley. Then we had to wait an additional almost 20 minutes because they gave them extra time. Then when I got in there and started to play the game, I hated the game. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I'm like, I hated the game. But, they did some improvements on the game. It's a completely different game from what I played at E3. So, I really like the game now. I really enjoy the game. It's one of my favorite games. But, overall, they just haven't. They just need to be able to produce some things that are really stunning for E3. Back to the show. So, you don't want to lose that element of surprise. So Microsoft, they've been keeping this stuff on the down low, keeping it a secret, not really bringing it up, not really talking about it, reflecting on it and things like that. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing for Microsoft. Now, what they could show at E3, my understanding is that it's a slim Xbox One, a slim console that, pretty much is the basic same console as before. Maybe it just looks different. Who knows what's in it, what it could have improvements on. We don't know. And then there's a second SKU, which I'm read and what I've been told is that it's to be a new SKU, not like any other SKU, like maybe possibly a new console. And I have to say to myself, what could it be? Like, what could this console be? Now, could it be something to rival the PS4K and the NX? Could it be something that is like an Xbox One or Xbox of some kind, but it has the capability of streaming 4K, movies and TV, and you're able to up res to 4K games, like resolution wise, just nothing like you're natively doing it, but up resing to 4K gameplay and things like that. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't get that far. Nobody's ever confirmed anything with me. My sources have told me that, I can't tell you what my sources have told me. What I can say is that it's going to be exciting and it's going to be fun. That's what I will say. So, I mean, if based on some of the questions I asked and some of the things that I know have been, I won't say confirmed, but some of the things that I know I've been led to believe, then I would think that, I think that they have something pretty nice, pretty awesome that the fans will enjoy, something that some people may not agree with. I know there's a lot of people out there who do not care for a new type of Xbox One. And the great thing about that is that you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. The thing that kills me with people is that everyone talks about how they don't want a new SKU, right? It's to make them feel better. Like think about this. It's like if you bought a car last year and a new one comes out this year and it's the same model, but the new one has an 8-cylinder engine and the one you have is a 4-cylinder engine. You don't want that car to come out because you just spent your money on the 4-cylinder and you're kind of pissed off that they came out with an 8-cylinder for around the same amount of money or a little bit more. But the people who want that 8-cylinder car, they can't, they want to get it. So how are you going to get mad at them because they want the vehicle? Like, I don't get that logic. Trade your car in, bro. Get the 8-cylinder and be happy with the rest of us. Don't be mad because they're coming out with a new console early. It's not like they're changing the generation and all of the games will no longer work. They're going to come out with a brand new game and it's not going to work on the Xbox One. The games will continue to work on the Xbox One. All they're saying is that if you get maybe the new console, if it is the new upgraded console that we've been hearing so much about from so many different people between the two companies, then it's a strong possibility that that new console will be able to play the games at a better version, at a better resolution, at a better frames per second. I don't think it's anything to the extreme of 4K or anything like that because, most people I've spoken to and most people have done research and hearing a lot of things from people, 4K, we're ways off from that. So that's not happening. But whatever it is, Phil did say that if he was going to drop a new console, it would be significant. That is one thing he did say. It wouldn't be a 1.5. He said he doesn't believe in 1.5. He said if it's going to be something, if he's going to drop a console, it's going to be a major increase in something. So my whole thing is like, wow, well, what could it be? Are they willing to take that hit? Like, are Microsoft willing to take that hit to pump out something so powerful that it's on par with today's PCs? To like their best PCs out today? It doesn't have to be 4K, but just to be on par with the best PCs today. And run these games at ultra settings. And you can pick up this console, everything is 1080p, 60 frames per second, but you get all of the textures and everything that you may see in comparisons with PC in this new SKU. That's a significant jump, be honest with you, compared to playing what Xbox is playing right now. Even though I have no problem with my Xbox One, be honest with you. So listen, man, options is never bad, man. Microsoft's been giving us options all generation. People who don't like options, guess what? You have the option not to buy it. That's how options work. You have the options to pass on it. So I think, it's no reason to get up in a bunch. Microsoft is going to be talking about something at E3 related to their SKUs. Possibility we may get a slim, possibility we may get an upgraded version of the Xbox One or an upgraded Xbox, whatever it may be called. I don't know, but I can tell you what, I'm going to be buying it. I will buy it. I will definitely be picking it up, especially if it looks interesting and the price range is just about right. I would definitely buy it. So I'm definitely excited about it, man. And think about it. Think about playing Gears at max settings on your new Xbox this holiday season. What? Yeah, I bet you they won't be complaining then, would they? They wouldn't be complaining then. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, man. E3 should be an amazing event this year. Phil Spencer came out and said it was nice. A lot of people didn't like the word nice. I think Phil is good at lowering expectations. Like really, he really is. He's like the master of lowering your expectations. Saying the word, because if he would have said something like, oh man, E3 is going to be amazing. We're going to have an amazing, great E3. Everybody be losing their minds. Oh my God, what are they going to show? Jesus Christ, I can't wait. Like people would go crazy. It'd be all over the internet. But saying, hey, E3 is gonna be nice. E3 is gonna be nice. Nobody barks at that. Nobody gets hype about that. And that's a great thing, because you know why? That means your expectations are so low. When you go into E3, your mind's gonna be blown away. Absolutely blown away, shocked, and amazed. I believe these guys are like yo, why am I about to say this? It sounds so wrong. These people are like the masters of manipulation. I feel manipulated. Don't you feel manipulated now? Like these guys are like just pulling you, telling you one day and pulling you in a different direction and hitting you with something else. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man. I love podcasting for Xbox. I really do. It's so fun. It really is fun, man. I wouldn't trade it or change it for the world. I wouldn't. It's just fun. Because you never know what you're going to get with Microsoft. You just don't. I tell you that. You just never know what you're going to get. So, Crackdown, we spoke about this last week. Crackdown has some type of event happening where it's like you can actually put your face in the game. I don't know why developers don't allow you to do that. Like, it can't be that complicated to add a feature where you can scan your face in the game. Every character that you can make, like any game that allows you to create a character, you should be able to put your face in the game. Like if Mass Effect comes out and I can't put my face on the new character, I'm gonna be upset. Like why are we still trying to design faces? Like the Division, why are we still trying to design faces when we have the technology and the cameras to scan our faces into the game? Like, just think about that for 1 second. Like, how long are we going to keep using numbers and trying to raise the cheekbones here or make the eyebrows here or push the eyes back here or make them this? Like, how long are we going to do that? We know what we want. We want to put ourselves in the game, except for the dudes out there who make female characters. You guys are weirdos, okay? Get what you say, man. Listen, I'm not sexist. I'm not at all. Much respect to women out there. I love you dearly. At the same time, you're not gonna have me with a female character. You'll never catch me build a female character. That's just when I build a character, I envision myself. That's just who I am. That's how I always have been. In any game that I play, if I'm playing with the main character, that's me. Back in the day on Final Fantasy VII, you could change Cloud's name. I named him Wood. Because that's my name, Wood, W-O-O-D. For those of you out there who don't know, my name is Lynn Wood. That's what it is. People call me Lynn. My closest friends call me Wood. Everybody else knows me as K-O-R-X, Kal-El, or just Kal-El. So, that's what I put there. That was me. Chrono, that was me. All my favorite games where I had a character and I could change the name, or I would make it myself. So all of a sudden, why the hell would I make it somebody else? Unless I just could not make the character look like me at all, then that's a completely different story. Or like I was playing Skyrim and I usually pick a Khajiit type character, then I would give them their own name, their own personality, but build them around the type of traits and stats that I want. So I feel like when you have human characters and characters that you can put your face on. Like even NBA 2K allows you to scan your face into the console. You know, a game like Crackdown, you should be able to be your own agent. You know, the next Skyrim, I keep saying Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls, they should allow you to do that. You know, it's the one feature that I hate that Rare had created that was really good at doing something, and we'll never see it be used or implemented into the Xbox. Like, instead of us giving these little kitty avatars, why can't we just have the characters we had from, you know, Connect Sports Rivals? I thought those caricatures were amazing. Could you imagine having a character that size, like standing on screen, that has a likeness almost to you, like almost not one for one, clearly, because it's a caricature of yourself, but still, it's really cool to see a character that resembles you in some way instead of you just making a generic avatar-like character. Like I don't know anybody who uses avatars anymore. It's not often. Like the avatar is dead on Xbox One. Even though they try to bring the avatar back, we haven't had it for so long as Xbox One gamers. It's dead. Like on 360, it was the jump off. Everybody had avatars, and the avatars were doing sick things, and it was right on the front screen. The avatar is hidden in your profile. You don't see it. Like, nobody really cares, man. You take a photo of your avatar, you put it on your profile pic, that's it. Avatar's dead. Nobody's out there buying avatar props and trying to get avatar clothes like they used to. You know, there's no avatar games like Keflings or Doritos or whatever that game was. What was it? Doritos Run, something like that. There's no games like that on the Xbox One. If it does come as BC, like Keflings is BC, but nobody cares. So I mean, they need to revamp the avatar system and make it more prevalent again. You know, put those characters on the front screen. When you move from screen to screen, they should move with you. You should be able to see them doing things and, you know, kind of like its own little AI. I think that makes it interesting and gives it personality. You know, how cool would it be to see your avatar walk across the screen and point at something that you've been watching and there's a new episode out and it's like, hey, here, you know, new episode, let's watch it. You know, I'm thinking far ahead. Of course, that costs resources, but hey, use the cloud. Why not? If you're online anyway, make your avatar only work when you're online, and use the cloud's calculations to run things back and forth for the avatar and give it a personality. I think that'd be really, really dope and really cool. It's something that they should do. But again, man, look, you know, Crackdown's supposed to be coming out with something where you can put your face in the game. I think that'd be really cool if they allowed you to do that. You can be your own agent. I think there should be games out there that continue to do that. And Microsoft needs to fix their avatar system because it's booty. And that's just the reality of it. And that's the truth. So, you know, there's been a lot of things happening in the industry. You know, we've been seeing all types of reviews. It's been a pretty good month for anybody who's in the Dark Souls. That game has scored unbelievably well. It's funny because it's such a niche title that you would hear it like, you know, exploding up the charts, but I haven't heard much. I'm pretty sure it's doing really, really well though. I can guarantee you that much. But I haven't heard much from it other than the fact that it's gotten really high reviews. I know everybody was playing Quantum Break on like the day it launched, like last week. The Quantum Break was all over my friends list. Like you couldn't find nobody not playing that game. This week, not so much because it's a single player game, and I guess they knocked it out. But there is a rumor that Sam Lake talked about implementing a multiplayer into the game. So that's a good thing. You know, you try to keep the franchise alive and keep the game going, some type of horde mode where you have enemies coming at you and you could just use your powers to go from, you know, A to B and use them in combination and stuff like that. Something that some of these reviewers just clearly don't know how to do. You know, I don't want to keep harping on Quantum Break, but it's just funny. It's like you have people talking about, oh my God, I can't shoot from behind cover, or I can't do. You're not meant to. Like that was the great thing about Quantum Break. The whole point was to use your abilities to attack. You were on the offensive, not the defensive. These people are human. You have powers. They don't. That's the whole point. Get out there and kick some ass. Why are you hiding behind cover? Cover is supposed to give you a few seconds to regenerate your health, reload your guns, and get back into the fray. You can literally freaking dash all over the map. You have a shield that can protect you from bullets. You have an energy bomb pretty much that can either kill people if you charge it or hold them in place. Like there was abilities that you could do on a consistent basis, except for maybe one that took time to regenerate. But for the most part, most of the powers were very consistent and easily accessible. You take some time, you get the time vision on, you see where everybody's at, you know where you're going to attack, and you go. That's what you do. But no, people want to sit from behind cover like they're Gears and blind fire. This is not the division, bro. That is not what's being advertised here. And the gunplay wasn't even as bad as everybody trying to make it out to be. So, you know, I just think people nitpick, man, just trying to find things to bring something down. And it's unfortunate that people don't know how to play games. Every game is not played the same. You won't see me going into Dark Souls trying to play like a Skyrim. It's just not going to happen. You know, and you won't see me going into Skyrim acting like I'm gonna hunt, you know, like I'm trying to hunt down some type of bear or something like that. That's just not what I'm going to do. You know, that's not the MO. So I think that people need to play games the way they're designed and stuff. It's nothing wrong with trying to play it differently, but if you're gonna play it to the point to where you're not even playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, you can't get mad at the game. You gotta be mad at yourself because you're not playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. So, you know, that's you know, that's just crazy. So Doom open beta is coming out soon. Doom looks amazing. As you know, as I said before, I don't play horror games. I just stay away from them. And Doom 3 scared the living crap out of me on the OG Xbox. I remember playing with my homie, and I just remember the stupidest thing about Doom was that you could not have your flashlight out and your gun out at the same time. It was either you had the flashlight or you had the gun. And in co-op, one of us always had the flashlight and the other one always had the gun. So it's crazy when an enemy comes at you and you got to drop that flashlight and all of a sudden everything goes dark. Or like you get caught up in attack and you're dying, you're on an upper level and you're like, come over here. He's like, you're over where? Over here. Where's over here? Because it was like there was no like, you know, type of map in the game back then where it was like you can find your dude. Like it was tough, man. It was a tough game. So, you know, I know Doom's beta has been really good and well received, and I'm looking forward to trying it out with a few people. But I don't know if I play the campaign by Dolo. If there's no co-op in the game, I'm not going to be playing it. I can't deal with the intensity of it. I can't, man. I don't know why I'm like that. Like literally, I don't know. I can watch it. I can even go to like, you know, these amusement parks like Fright Fest and, you know, things like that. How was Halloween Horror Nights and stuff down here in Florida, you know, at Universal Studios and the Busch Gardens. But but I can't sit up there and play the game. I think because I'm in there and I don't want to die. You know, my palms get sweaty, my heart's racing, it's intense. Something pops out, I'm firing, losing all my ammo. I just can't do it. That's why I didn't download Dead Space. I just not. It's the one free game I refuse to download. What's the point? I'm never gonna play it. It's funny stuff, man. So yeah, man. But I think it's gonna be really dope for the people out there who's gonna pick up Doom. That's gonna be a big game for them. And I can't wait for E3. I'm hyped, man. It's getting close. We are prepping. You know, we're trying to get our things in order. We got one more month to go before we hit LA. We go on our trip. I got a big event happening next week called Tick Week, TIC Week. I got some big news to drop. We have been revamping our website. We've made a lot of changes to Tick. There's a lot of things happening with the Inner Circle, and the Inner Circle Network is something that I've been developing. So I can't wait to announce it and tell you guys everything that has been going down the past week and why I've been kind of secretive and keeping things hush-hush, why I haven't been showing off the website. Some people will really enjoy it. I think a lot of people who respect me and a lot of people who understand business will recognize what I'm trying to do, and they will appreciate everything that I've built. And then they'll go ahead and they'll go out and they'll continue to support Tick. And the people out there who love the channel because it's an Xbox channel, and it will always, I want to make that clear, always be an Xbox channel. You know, the people out there who respect me, who respect the channel, but really don't care for anything else, and they want to fanboy out, you know, they may leave. That's just the reality of it. They may leave. And that's something that I've thought about, you know. But listen, at the same time, it's a brand, man. I'm trying to build. I'm trying to do something special. I'm trying to do something that nobody out there is doing. I've said this before. So, I really, really would appreciate everybody, who supports Tick, to continue to sit behind Tick, continue to support us in this new, I guess you could say, adventure that we're going on. And once I launch the new website, man, check it out. It's hot. It's better than anything I've ever done. I've worked really, really hard to build this website, so I want people to go there, check it out. We're going to have an amazing community. We're going to have some really awesome forums. We got some events that we're doing. We're going to be doing something where it's like, here's what's really cool. We got a thing that we're going to be doing where we will do an event twice a month for 2 months. Every 2 weeks, we'll do an event, and it's free. And the third month, there'll be 1 week where it's a tournament between the top players over the last 2 months. And then the last week in the third month, what will happen is we'll hold a tournament, and whoever wins the tournament walks away with a reward. And we're going to do that all year. Like, that's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. It's going to be a crazy event that we've been building up for a minute. So you got January. Let's say, for example, we're starting the beginning of the year. You would have January and February. We would have, there would be 2 tournaments in January and February. Then we would do 2 tournaments in, there'd be 2 tournaments in January. Then it would be 2 tournaments in February, 1 tournament in March, and then the final championship game in March again, and that will be the winner. And then we'll start all over again in April. And throughout the course of the year, that will be 4 champions, and you will give out 4 rewards. That's what we're going to be doing. That's just one of the things that we have planned. And listen, I'm working really hard. This is going to be the type of thing that no one has ever experienced before when it comes to media. Like, that's the new model. The new model for TICGN is taking media to another level. You will not get this type of engagement anywhere else but with the Inner Circle. So, keep it locked, man. Really appreciate everybody coming out for the show tonight and everything. I really appreciate all the support. I'm very grateful to everyone. And I will definitely be back next week. I still have the Inner Circle podcast to upload that we did last week. I apologize for not getting that there, but I've been busy rebuilding the website and making my power moves and doing a lot of things behind the scenes so I can launch coming up this week for the Inner Circle week, and that's kind of thrown me off. So don't worry, I got some amazing things planned. Might have some crazy guests, and I still have some things that I'm holding on to, like our On the Red Carpet interview with Nevermind. You guys will be hearing that next week, Saturday. So that's going to be awesome. So I'm your host, KORSKLL, the last on the planet Xbox. Really appreciate everybody stopping out. Again, I'll be back next week at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Tick channel, and I'm off this planet. Peace. All right, guys. So this is the after show. If there's any questions you guys want to chat about, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll have a quick discussion on a few things here and there. Get some things off your mind and everything. Again, I appreciate everybody coming on the show and just hanging out with me this evening. Really enjoying a lot of the things that I've been doing and stuff like that. E3 looks really, really spectacular. I can't wait to get back out to LA. Me and some of the guys out there, some of you guys know them on Twitter. We're going to get together and get a chance to hang out and stuff. So, we'll see what happens coming up in June and everything like that. But if there's no questions, like I said, we'll be back next week on Wednesday at 9 p.m. And of course, I have Tick Podcast Fridays at 6 p.m. And that show is recorded Thursday nights. So you'll be able to get a recorded version of that show. And like I said, the reason why we don't do live is because guys the reality of it is that some of my team, they just don't have the bandwidth and they don't have the equipment to record live over Google. And it's unfortunate, but hopefully we can get these guys the things that they need so they can be better podcasters for you, and we can continue to put on a good show for you as well. So Brad Smith says, what do you think of the Division's update? I'm kind of disappointed. Honestly, Brad, I haven't played it yet. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. Like I said, I've been busy all week, man. I literally haven't turned my Xbox on all day today. It's been off for like the last 2 days. I've just been working really, really hard to build this new website. I can't wait to present it and give you guys a taste of what I'm trying to build and things like that. Like I've never been this excited to present something to people ever. Seriously, like my excitement level is like through the roof. And I really hope everyone is impressed with it. And I hope everybody joins up and we can make that the community that we always wanted it to be and things like that. So, yeah, I've been busy with that. I've been busy communicating with some people here and there and, talking to people via email and trying to get certain people on the show. I'm making a lot of moves behind the scenes. I don't really want to give it away, but, that's where my time has been. That's where I've been preoccupied, and of course, with the family and things like that. So, I can't wait to get a chance to play it. I heard that the excursions from my clan were tough. I heard they were really difficult. Like even on hard, I heard they were difficult. And I haven't heard anything bad about it. I heard that somebody already found a glitch. I'm like, they found a glitch in it already? Like gamers are quick, man. When it comes to like finding exploits, oh my God. Like they should hire these people to be beta testers. I don't know. Whoever's doing their Q&A is terrible because the way they find glitches is just out of control. Like just doing that, like we used to do the Lincoln Tunnel. Is it Lincoln Tunnel? Yeah. We used to do the Lincoln Tunnel. No, Lincoln Tunnel. Yeah. Lincoln Tunnel glitch. I keep getting Lincoln Tunnel and Lexington Avenue mixed up. The Lincoln Tunnel glitch, and we also used to do the, oh man, what was the other glitch? Oh, the Russian consulate. Those two glitches were really dope. Being able to go back around and just constantly kill the boss and just collect a whole bunch of high-end weapons and parts and purple guns. Like literally purple guns, all I do is break them down and just get resources now, just to build my weapons and stuff. I've been trying to roll like the perfect AUG. I heard the AUG is like the best gun in the game. When you get to a certain level, that and the MP5. I know a lot of people roll the Vector because the Vector you don't need Dark Zone high-end resources and things like that, but definitely the MP5. If you can roll a good MP5 or a good AUG, best gun in the game. Does more damage, has more rounds. Yeah, it's just a higher fire rate. The AUG is like it's not higher. The MP5 is higher, but the AUG is like right there. Like it's badass. So I would definitely recommend getting one of those if you can, but it's tedious, man. Just trying to get those resources from the dark zones and pain in the butt. Courtney Spence, Kyle, why you believe in a new Xbox? It's not happening until next year. I mean, it could happen next year. They could come out and they could announce that it's happening it's happening next year. I wouldn't be mad at that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be wrong. I mean, I might be wrong saying that there may be an Xbox a new Xbox at this E3, but that's just based on what I've been guided to believe and things like that. But at the same time, even if it comes out next year, that's still way early. That's what, 4 years in? This console came out in 2013. So we're talking about 4 years into a generation. That sounds about right. Mid-cycle, 4 or 5 years. And 5 years for me is just like, you might as well end the cycle, because that's how we used to be back in the day. Every 5 years, you get a new Xbox, or you get a new PlayStation, or a new Super Nintendo, or Dreamcast, or whatever. Whatever consoles were being manufactured back then, every 5 years you could get it. Now it's more, it was like the 360 generation, the PlayStation 3 generation was 10 years. That's a long time, bro. They had the same console. And I think people get upset because the crazy thing about it is that in that generation, because it was so long, we had so many amazing games. The only thing we ever do was compare this generation to last. That's what we do. We compare what games we played on the 360, what games we played on PS3. Nobody talks about the Wii. Like, we just don't. I mean, the Wii sold like hotcakes, but it was cheap. I mean, it was like 5 Wiis and old people in like senior citizen homes. Like, it was innovative at the time, but once you got to play it and realized that it was just a gimmick and the games weren't great, no third parties were starting to hit it, was starting to die off, and they had a ton of shovelware. It kind of went down. Like, as far as software attach rate was concerned, Xbox was king. Xbox was king for the longest time, and then Sony wound up picking up the pace and they came back and, things like that. But at the end of the day, the Xbox One took a hell of a lot of mind share from Sony, and they literally kind of, you could say, split, they split the consumers like 80 million apiece and stuff. So I just think that a new console happening next year, to me, makes sense. It makes sense. And if it's how they envision it to be, where it's kind of not something that's happening every year like these iPhones, but just has the forward compatibility and the backwards compatibility, being able to play all the games on your 360, on your Xbox One, and I'm pretty sure OG Xbox at some point. Could you imagine having that? Like, just having access to OG Xbox games like Crimson Skies and Mech Assault and Fusion Frenzy, Blinks the Cat. Like, just imagine having access to those games, Avid Rising and Bloodwake and Brute Force and all those games that we really loved back in the day. Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire. Like, if you think about it, now imagine having all those old school games that you enjoyed as a kid, and then you have all your 360 games digitally, which you enjoyed. And now we all know the Xbox One is like digital king, because all I do is digital. So I have a ton of digital games on Xbox One. I have a ton of arcade games on 360. Now all of those games follow me to the next console. I don't have to ever worry. Like, my backlog is so big, I don't ever have to worry about when the next game is coming out. Who gives a damn about remasters when I have a whole backlog of games from generations, a generation ago, 2 generations ago, and 3 generations ago? I think it's genius that they're doing this. If Microsoft can pull off being able to have all these games that's backwards compatible, right? Then at the same time, you have games that come out on both the Xbox One and the new console. And let's just say, for the example, the Xbox One's games come out at 900p, 60 frames per second, but the new Xbox SKU runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second. Even though the resolution is minuscule, which it absolutely is, it just lets you know that that's the console really that you want. That's a definitive console. It really is. Now, Phil's talking about a significant increase in power. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a significant increase in power means. Does it mean that there's a possibility that that console can get its own, exclusive game that the Xbox One won't be able to get? I think at that point, then you may have an issue, because you wind up alienating the Xbox One fan base who's not ready to upgrade. And you also said that all games will run on it. But if at the same time we're able to continue to get the games on both consoles, but just one console runs it at a more powerful state, I don't have a problem with that. And I think as consumers, we have the option to purchase it. I would pick it up. I really would. So I hope it really is something special. I don't know if they'll show it this year. My person told me that, there's going to be something, and the FCC came out and said that they found something, or somebody was looking at the FCC and found 2 SKUs. I don't know why Microsoft would have 2 SKUs for a console. Obviously one is a slim. I mean, hey, one could be a console with Oculus Rift in it. It could be a bundle. Who knows? It could be a bundle, a console with Oculus Rift. That is something that we wouldn't expect. An Xbox One Slim with an Oculus Rift packaged together with it. Being that Microsoft has a deal, with Oculus, and they're working some things out with them or whatever, that could be something that could surprise us all. And maybe it's not an upgraded console. And maybe the next console we don't get for actually another 3 or 4 years. That is another huge possibility. But whatever it is, it's completely different. And if it does have Oculus Rift, that console has something in it that's going to help it run those games, because the Xbox One right now currently isn't, I'm not saying that it's not built for it's not saying that it's not built for VR, but I would think that you would want to implement some things or add some things so VR could work at the best state possible. And that's what Sony is trying to do with the PS4K. So yeah, I think that Microsoft will be trying to do the same thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did announce either a new upgraded Xbox or an Xbox that was bundled with VR. Let's see. Brad Smith says, I just finished mine today. Oh, really? Oh, so Brad says he finished the incursion mode for the Division and tells me that it's just a horde mode, a 15 wave horde mode. That sucks. I was expecting, like, I don't know why I was thinking like Destiny, like it was a raid, like you would go into some base and you would, you would fight a boss at every door, like 3 bosses at every door, and the last boss was a hard boss, and it was something that you had to do. There was some type of pattern you had to survive, and then everybody had to open fire. I don't know why I was thinking like that. That's kind of disappointing though, now that you told me about it. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, Brad, definitely get that div tech for that MP5, bro. That's what it's at. Courtney Spence says, I'm hoping it's a dual GPU console with like 5 or 8 teraflops. Bro, I don't know. I don't know about a dual GPU, but I don't know, man. Look, I'm not a tech guy, so I'm not gonna sit up here and talk out my ass. All I know is that we should have something. I'm hoping that it's something special. I hope it's dope too. I'm not even gonna lie. I would be very, very happy if they produced something, a slim console that was that worked out, that was really nice for the Xbox community out there who's kind of over the Xbox One's original design. Though I have no problem with the Xbox One's original design because I still have the gloss over finish and I really like it. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I just think that I don't know, man. I just think that it kind of, I still to this day, I feel like every Xbox One they come out with just does not appeal universally to the world because they're always so big and clunky. The 360 appealed because it really wasn't that big. In fact, the PS3 was bigger at launch. The PS3 was bigger at launch. So if you take that into consideration, thinking about the 360 and how, it was in comparison to the PS3, it was shorter. They were both kind of, they both had some width on them and things like that, but it was pretty nice. And the 360 just had all types of like iterations of itself. So many cool iterations of itself. They came out with so many consoles last generation. I think people are so disappointed this generation with the amount of like consoles that we haven't gotten. Like literally they've given us like 1 or 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 consoles that were like completely different, like maybe a different color or a different design, but nothing that was significant. We was like, oh my God, I gotta get it. Like the first time we saw the white Xbox, we were like, okay, that was cool, but it would have been better if the Sunset Overdrive Xbox was orange. It would have been dope if they sold the Pip-Boy Xbox that was designed with the Pip-Boy gold rust over. Like they don't, I feel like these consoles are just not innovative in the way they present new customizable consoles. Like last generation, dude, there was so many dope looking consoles, man. So many of them, and then you had the Slim, and then you had the Elite. Like they killed the game. Don Matrick knew how to spend money. I'll tell you right now, for all the things that Don Matrick did wrong the last couple of years of the Xbox 360's life cycle, that man knew how to spend money. He did, and it was not a game. If Microsoft was going to lose, when it comes to exclusives, they were going to snatch up every third party possible, and they were going to pump out new looking consoles with some crazy customization, try to get the best deals possible when it comes to DLC exclusivity, and it hurt the Xbox. It really did. But Don had a killer instinct. I think Phil has a long-term vision. Fans do not like long-term. when it, gaming is like fast food. We want it now, and it better be good. Because if it's not, we're gonna be pissed off. Ain't nobody got time to be waiting at the window, bro. I'm in the drive-through for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to wait 15 minutes at the window, bro. I want my Big Mac right now, son. Like right now, dog. And it better not be dry, or we're gonna have a problem. That's how it is, man. That's how it is. So it's just funny. It's funny how gamers are, man. It really is. But Don Matrick, that's what he did, man. He was giving you fast food, and everybody was eating it up. That's why the Xbox sold, man. I mean, they had a great early on with some of the people that they had early, and then you had the dude from EA. I always forget his name. Oh man, what is his name again? I can't remember his name. Whatever. Either way, he signed some really great games, But yeah, Don Matrick came in and had that killer instinct, bro. He was all about that money. He was trying to expand Microsoft's install base by any means possible. And he did just that. I give him his props, man. He just didn't know he wasn't a gamer. He just wasn't a gamer. He just thought giving people rehashes of Forza and Halo would just sustain people, but it didn't. I think if they would have continued to pump out IPs the way they were doing, like honestly, they would have continued to be probably the market leader when it came. I mean, they were the market leader when it came to attachment rate, at least in America. I don't want to say worldwide. I know Sony wound up getting their grips back over time and probably started, take a hit at that number, maybe even surpassed it. But even then, by that time, it was over. Like the generation was over. But when the Xbox One came out, they were still ahead. So the generation was over. I mean, it was all good. But anyway, it's just crazy. Let's see. Clinton Forbes says he hopes that the new Xbox is diskless and a regular slim. I'm not gonna lie, a diskless console would be dope, but then I would literally have to buy all my rentals. I mean, I do that now. See, the thing about Redbox, you go to Redbox and you pick up a movie. Like I've been trying to get Star Wars. Like I wanted to buy Star Wars, but I don't want to buy Star Wars. I want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it. So I'd rather rent it from Redbox and just watch it and take it back. But the problem with me and Redbox is I never take Redbox back. Like I'm terrible with like renting things and taking things back. It's like I can pick up Redbox movie for $2 for Blu-ray for the day, right? Or I could spend $5 in the seat of my home and just watch it. But that's $3 extra that I just spent. But I wound up not taking the movie back and spend $12 when I return it a week later. Like I'm a lose situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like you pay for the convenience. That's what the $5 for. The convenience of being at home and not traveling. And the $2 is because you got to travel, man. You're spending gas money, bro. Real talk. Crazy though. Brad Smith said, do you think ReCore is even close to coming out? I was excited, but now I feel it is going to be a while until it comes out. I think ReCore will be showing up at E3. ReCore has been in development for 3 years. It is a combination. Well, I won't say it's a combination. Let me not say that. It is inspired by Zelda and Metroid. That's what it's inspired by. I don't even know what that means. I know that the environment is dynamic, that there's a lot of sandstorms, and it changes the way you play the game. When a sandstorm comes, you have to hide. And when you hide and you come back out, your environment changes. So a path you may have been on may be blocked, and you have to find another way around or another way through. And with Kenji Ifune, the creator of Mega Man, I wouldn't be surprised if it had a lot of Mega Man elements. Like you beat a boss and gain his power. You think about those little orbs that she takes, and she can snatch an orb out of an enemy and put it into another robot and obtain that robot's ability. I wouldn't be surprised if like she destroyed an enemy robot's orb and then put a good orb in, and now the enemy boss she just beat is now one of her companions. And you just have all these companions you can swap in and out for different situations as you dungeon crawl through like these Metroidvania style maps, going down, going up, opening up, new areas. Like seriously, that's what I envision ReCore to be, except it's going to look like Tomb Raider. on that level. Now, that's not saying that I believe 100% that's what it's going to be, because I haven't seen it, but graphically and based on some of the things that I've been hearing, that it's supposed to be that type of quality. So I'm excited, because I can tell you right now, if there's anything that's like a 2D side scrolling, the way they hype this thing up, oh my God, the backlash would be tenfold. I will go ham. It would be a day and tick infamy. I'm telling you, if this game is some type of small indie game and it's disappointing, yo, bro, y'all gonna be like, yo, he about to shut his channel down. He about to lose all his connects with Microsoft. I'm so dead serious. You do not make me feel like this game is gonna be something special just to disappoint me with like an indie title. Like, I would be seriously sick. I would be sick. I'd be mentally and physically sick. I would be sick. I really would. This crazy situation. But based on what I've heard and based on what I've been told, it is a AAA project, so I don't expect it to be that small. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see. Let's see here. Yes, his name was Peter Moore. Thanks, Clint. Thanks, Shark. I appreciate that. Clint says, "Yo, I don't want those at the new." Okay, he's saying that he didn't want a diskless console for the new Xbox. He just believes that's the pattern that Microsoft filed for. I can see that. But you know what? I tell you what. Now that you made me think about it, if that is a diskless SKU, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the original vision of the Xbox. You're making me think about it. That could be the original vision of the X. That could be the upgrade. That could be the upgrade. Think about it. There's parts in there you could change because you no longer have the disc tray in there taking up space. Okay. The game is always online. You finally have your always online console for the people who want always online. You got Crackdown coming out. It's right around the summer. It makes complete sense. You can have always online going on with the whole package. Who knows what they'll present? I remember a couple weeks ago, they had a survey go out, Microsoft, talking about digital trade-ins. What about that, huh? Digital trade-ins. That might be something they may announce at E3. They keep it on the hush. Aaron Greenberg came out and rebutted it to I forget his face, the advisor dude that always popping crap but don't know what he's talking about. Michael Pachter. And Michael Pachter talking about they're playing with fire. They do digital traders. Who's playing with fire? Who? Is it the consumer's fault that there's games that we play digitally that we regret buying or we never finish? Now we have no incentive we just stuck with a license. You people want digital rights and digital, games to progress, and you want full income in return for these games that cost so much money to develop, but there's no middleman with digital. But at the same time, as gamers, we don't want to get screwed over. You complain about the people who pirate the game and get the game for free. But if you give us the incentive to know that if we beat a game in a certain amount of time, we may get something back. If we purchase a digital game, we may get a percentage back. I'm not saying it has to be something extravagant. I'm just saying that I spent money on something, and it would be nice to know that my money was worth something in return. A digital license is nothing. It's digital. It's air. So if anybody gives you anything for it, it's a plus. I know a lot of people complain about, 10% is way too small. That's $6. You know what you get with $6? $6 off a game, because you wouldn't get it if you didn't have it. So complaining about somebody giving you something back for a digital license, something that you're not purchasing physically, a disc. The reason why discs have value is because you may not have any. You can run out. Supply and demand. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole point. If I have 10 discs, right, and I have 50 people in the store, guess what? The demand for the game has gone up, and so does the prices. But digital licenses, you could pop one of them things any moment you want. They're infinite. It's a digital copy, so there is no price on digital. So if someone is giving you something for digital, I'm not saying you have to be happy and take it, but if you have the incentive, if they want to give you 10%, 15%, 20%, dude, don't complain. It's worse than the people who complain about free games. It's a free game. I get it. Okay, it's not the game that you wanted, but it's a free game. You could have just been paying for Xbox Live and not got nothing, but you get 4 free games a month. What is it to complain about? Some days are hit, some months are hit or miss, and some months are trash, or some months are amazing. It's just like, you can't really complain, man. Like, what are you complaining about? You can suggest that they try to put better things out there, but they go on a tirade and complain because it's not meeting your expectations or your needs. Like, bro, it's free. Like, what are you complaining about free things? It's the worst. You're the worst type of person to complain about free stuff. It's terrible. Oh man, funny stuff. It really is, man. Something is way better than nothing. It really is. I mean, a lot of people complain about the percentage is too small, or I want more money. I paid $60 for it, but you paid for an infinite license. Like you pay for something that's infinite, that they just can just download a digital copy, give you a code, and you can install it on your console. So there's a big difference. If I have a digital game and somebody offers me $10 for the game after a week of playing it, and I beat it, and I'm probably not like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, I beat it. I'll never play Tomb Raider Definitive Edition again. But if you told me I could get $5 for it right now, I would trade it in. Seriously, I would trade it in. I would probably trade that in and a few other games that I have that I probably haven't played in, and then turn around and probably buy an indie game or put it towards my next AAA exclusive. Like, bro, it's money. What do you like? What? I don't even understand the logic of some people. It makes no sense. But yeah, man, end of the day, that's just what happens. People complain all the time, and I don't want to keep ripping on people and stuff. I just want people to be logical in their thought process, because everything's not going to go your way, but you have to look at the benefits and do they outweigh the negatives? And these benefits clearly outweigh the negatives. So I can see a diskless console, if that is what they're trying to present, that runs cloud, Crackdown being the first game we're supposed to get this summer, the multiplayer beta, and get a chance to run cloud for the first time. I'm pretty sure they've redesigned the inside of that console. I can guarantee they have redesigned the inside of that console to take 100% full advantage of cloud and 100% full advantage of DX12. I believe that. I believe that. And that's a significant change. That's a significant change from the Xbox One. And a diskless Xbox One, maybe they do something more digital-wise, start doing digital trade-ins or whatever, if they ever get to that point. But I can see that happen, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't. And I would probably pick it up because I'm all digital anyway. Like, seriously, the only games I buy physical is sports games. That's it. like literally that's it, because them things come out every single year. If it's an MMO or if it's a multiplayer, I will buy it digitally. Most single player games I wouldn't buy digitally, but I would buy the exclusives digitally. I would own the exclusives. If it's an exclusive, I would pick it up digitally. But a game like Shadow of Mordor, I would probably pick up physically. Like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, I would probably get physically and stuff like that. So, I have my reasons, but that's the way I look at it. If it has longevity in it, I'll pick it up digitally. And if it's a short game and I'm going to be in a short amount of time, then I'll buy it physically, then trade it in, or maybe go to GameFly, something like that, which I haven't done in a while. But the most part, because I shared a lot of games through the whole, the way we are illegally doing it by swapping the home consoles, I have a lot of single player games on my Xbox, which I don't buy. I just buy the multiplats, and I buy the RPGs Not really a lot of them, but the RPGs, multiplayer RPGs that did come out, and I pick up the shooters and anything that's multiplayer or MMO centric, I pick it up, or adventure centric that has like DLC, or like you beat the game and it's like a new game plus or something like that, or I have to go back and find more things, I'll buy a multi-plat. But if it's just something simple and like something just a straight linear game, like Quantum Break is the type of game I would have bought physical if it wasn't exclusive. I would have bought that game physically, But in the end, man, really, really appreciate the library Microsoft has produced. To me, they've done a spectacular job. I know we haven't had the classic that everybody's trying to search for, but I just look at their IPs and the diversity that they put out this generation. I've been impressed, and I really enjoy what I've been playing. So really, 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 really excited for E3 and what they have to show coming up this year and the rest of the year. So want to thank everybody for coming out, man. Appreciate all the questions, everybody hanging out with your boy. I'll be back next week. Again, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Go ahead, spread the word. We got a lot of things happening next week. You guys will be in for some special stuff from the inner circle. I can't wait for you guys to know, hear, and share and go to the forums and help support us and help blow us up some more. I really, really am grateful for all my fans. So I really appreciate it. So I'm out of here, man. Really appreciate you guys. And I will see you next week. Peace.